Bismillah.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليًا ولي الله. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليًا حجة الله. حي على السلام. حي على السلام. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله.
ये नहीं أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي كان موجودا قبل حدوث الأشياء ويبقى بعد فناء الأشياء. تفرد بالأولية والقدم ووسم كل شيء ما عداه بالفناء والعدم، كما قال عز شان كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه وكل نفس ذائقة الموت. وقال كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. سبحان من لا يخفى عليه اختلاف النيات ولا يعزب عنه مآسي العباد في الخلوات. سبحان الله الذي منه خلقة العباد وإليه المعاد. فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خير يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شر يره. نشهد أن لا إله إلا هو الملك الذي لا ينازع في ملكه ولا يضاد في حكمه. يعذب من يشاء بما يشاء كيف يشاء ويرحم من يشاء بما يشاء كيف يشاء. تعذيبه المسيء عدل وعفو تفضل. ونشهد أن محمدا سيد المرسلين وخير المبشرين والمنذرين صلى الله عليه وآله الهداة المهديين. من ركب سفينتهم نجا واهتدى ومن تخلف عنها ضل فغرق. وهوى أوصيكم عباد الله بالاعتصام بالتقوى فإنه حبل متين وعروة الوثقى. فقد قال أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب عليه الصلاة والسلام: حريزا دينه ميتة شهوته مكظوما غيظه الخير منه مأمول والشر منه مأمون. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I begin by advising myself and all of you to adopt the taqwa of Allah as is the best of provisions. the phenomena of programs after the month of Ramadan. That alhamdulillah, Eid prayer was done smoothly, and many people took part, not just here in Masjid-e-Ali, but I heard in the other centers and the Imam Margas in New Jersey. And it's a very promising indication, sign that alhamdulillah, things are gradually and slowly coming back to normalcy, that pretty much all the centers had some sort of programs conducted this year in person, and as well as Eid Salat was conducted pretty much all of the centers throughout the East Coast, or at least in the tri-state area. And as inshallah, people do move towards vaccination and fully get vaccinated, inshallah, because this is something which is our obligation toward the rest of humanity as well. Don't look at it from the aspect of all the conspiracies that are arising. And side effects is something which we have learned to live with. Even the basic, Tylenol that you take for pain. I'm sure doctors here will tell you that there are certain side effects that are, alongside with it. Because you get used to those side effects with these medications, you don't worry about it. But something this new is something where people start raising eyebrows and they start questioning what is going to happen, because there's so much uncertainty. But here we are, because we're muqallideen. We are the followers of, when it comes to religious matters, we follow our maraji. When it comes to, medical, under the guidelines of Islam, we follow the experts in that field, and the experts suggest that this is the best solution for the problem at the moment. So this is something which everyone should move towards, since it will bring only normalcy in our lives, if anything else. So with that said, I think things are promising, and there are certain things that are getting better, and we're moving in the right direction. I don't know how wise it was to remove the face mask, the ability to remove the face mask in the gatherings for those who are fully vaccinated. I guess CDC just released that yesterday. Regardless of what their suggestions are, I think we're going to continue to follow our own guidelines for our community, as far as preventive measures and more precautions. The more you're cautious, the better it is. And inshallah, by the time Muharram al-Haram comes about, because these are the times which are really important to those who are, Shia specifically, and Muslims in general, the month of Ramadan and the months of Azar, Muharram, and Safar. So while we have about a couple of months until Ayyam Azar, inshallah, hopefully we're looking at a complete turnaround from last year, and hopefully we'll be able to join one another in normal way and commemorate this Azar after a gap of 1 year. But of course, Azar does not stop. If anything, I heard that actually it increased while programs were being conducted online. You saw the influx of programs and the increase of programs that we would have never thought that we would attend from far away places, from Pakistan and India. We were seeing, those programs were being conducted, and we were able to, witness them sitting here comfortably in our houses. So there was a variety that was available to us this year. But nonetheless, I recited this tradition from Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib والسلام, from Nahj al-Balagha, as it's the first day after Eid al-Fitr. Last night also we had the Shawwal Jumah program. Believe it or not, we did. I don't know if anyone really noticed it, but we had the program, and I'm sure many of you were probably busy with your families, with the other, gatherings that you may have had. But we did have the Shawwal Jumah program. It was all conducted virtually, although very few followers were online watching with us. But that's okay. That's understandable that, people were probably busy because it was the day of Eid. It was also nice to, we finally have that full, not that we don't have any sense of comfort when our national institutions announce that tomorrow will be Eid or the day after the moon has been sighted. But it was also comforting and satisfying that we were able to see the crescent yesterday, or the day before rather, ourselves here in New Jersey. And that also gave us a sense of certainty and gave a sense of, comfort that what we're doing is correct. Because in the past, we just relied on the, other people telling us, and that also brings certainty to us, but it was more satisfying that we were able to see it ourselves. And so, while it's the day after Eid and there might be very low number of people online and, those who registered here, but inshallah, we will quickly get through what I have brought for you today, and I won't take too much of your time. The attributes that Imam has associated with the muttaqeen and the pious, Imam says that you will see pious are those whose religion is safe, his desires dead, and his anger suppressed. Among the attributes that Imam counts of those who are pious people is that that his religion and his beliefs are protected from the affairs which cause defects and damage. That is an important aspect of our lives. Sometimes we take it for granted. Now, the stronger your foundation is, how well you were raised, how your parents and your community, your alim, and your Sunday school, your full-time school, all of those things which work to make your foundation strong. If they did their job, then, of course, the belief system of every individual will be strong. Now, we all have the same beliefs, but there's variety of, variations between us. Someone might have the understanding of something and beliefs are at 100%. Some of us might be lower than that, which means what? Does that mean that if I have a lower belief, for example, my belief on certain things is 90%? Well, that's not really a belief. You should have 100% belief. But what I'm saying over here is the intensity of how much I am willing to sacrifice for my belief, or the intensity that how much I'm able to stand up for my beliefs. For example, if it's threatened, if it's challenged, if I'm, of course, not being coerced, but if I'm being questioned as far as my beliefs are concerned, am I going to shy away, or am I going to go ahead and defend my beliefs? Or if there's something challenging in front of my beliefs comes about, is it going to destabilize my belief, or my belief is so strong that it will never be shaken? That's where the problem lies. So the stronger your upbringing must have been, the foundation was laid down by your parents, by your elders, by your teachers, wherever you got this foundation, that when you believe in Tawheed, for example, when you believe in Nubuwwat, for example, when you believe in Imamat, and you believe in the Wilayat of Ma'asumin, for example, you believe in all of these things. If they're challenged, how strong is your belief that you will not be shaken by the challenges of the society? That's what the discussion is. So Imam says Muttaqi is someone that his religion and his beliefs are protected from the affairs which cause defects and damage. So Imam is announcing it 14 centuries ago that there might come along things which might start creeping in your mind, the doubts about your fundamental beliefs. There might be certain things that are happening around the globe today that damage or defect your certain beliefs. It is a possibility. Faith and belief, whether followed or proven through evidence, is prone to weakness. So we either have our own research in believing something, or we have followed someone who told us that this is, for example, our parents, they taught us this. This is how it's supposed to be. Now, there are many things that are cultural. We're not talking about those. We're only talking about solely that are, Islamic beliefs. So they are prone to weakness and destruction with doubts and obstruction. How many people have you seen that they were, their beliefs started shaking as, they saw certain signs or they saw certain things? I don't think you see so much in madhab tashayyu, but you do see that in the other madhahib. That a person who grew up knowing that this is the first Khalifa, this is the second Khalifa, this is the third Khalifa, and Amirul Mu'mineen is the fourth Khalifa. And then they did their research, they come to a realization that, look, Ali has a higher place. Ali is a stronger candidate for being the successor of Rasulullah. So they had change of mind. They looked at all of the evidences, shaken their belief. They changed their belief and they said, well, I consider Ali to be the first Khalifa, and I believe Ali to be the Khalifat bila fasl. Right away, they changed their belief. Now, I don't really see or have any examples to quote, but I'm sure this might have happened, that people who were in our circles, they might have stepped out of our circles and went in the other direction. There is quite a possibility that, they believed in the imamat of Amirul Mu'mineen at the Khalifatul Bila Fasl, but maybe certain influences in their family or maybe in their circle, inner circle, friends, influenced them where they said, well, yeah, things do go in their direction, and first Khalifa is so-and-so, second is so-and-so, third is so-and-so, and fourth is Ali. So they might have changed their beliefs as well. But I really don't know if there are any examples for that available. But I do have many such examples of the other way around. For example, the famous people such as Tijani, that then I was guided, that he had these doubts, and these doubts were then answered, and then he found the guidance and he came on this path. So the problem here, we're not going at that level, scholarly level. We're talking about for our kids growing up in this society. And because their belief is definitely not as strong as maybe yours, or maybe their belief is stronger than yours. It is either way, right? If they have gone through the Islamic studies or Islamic schools, full-time schools, then maybe fundamentally they grew up in a society where they were, plenty of these opportunities available for them. Maybe their beliefs are stronger than their parents. A lot of time, parents do tell us when our kids go back from Sunday school and they tell their parents something, their parents call us, we did not know that either. Our child actually informed us of that. So that's good. So children, they learn something in the Islamic school and they go back and they tell their parents were unaware of it. That happens too sometimes. So with that said, I think I have established the foundation over here. That was just establishing the foundation. There's a possibility that, the beliefs of our youth and our kids might be, affected by the influence that they have in the society. As they grow older, now things become more and more obvious. They are now being challenged. They're in school, they're in colleges, at campuses. They have all these different forces around them, and they're able to challenge them. So faith and belief, whether followed or proven through evidence. So if it's just followed by someone because my parents told me to do this, so that's why I do this. For example, why do you do azadari? Well, because my parents taught me. Why do you do matam? Oh, because my parents taught me. If that's the answer, then this person will not be able to stand firmly on his beliefs unless it's proven through them, with proofs, with evidences which are there. If it's proven through them with those evidences, then they will be able to stand up and provide an answer which is satisfactory first to themselves, and then it will be satisfactory to those who are listening to them, those who might be causing these sort of doubts for them. So it is very important that these aren't just followed. And when they question, you just shun them aside saying, oh, don't question these things. Mabad, lest you question about these things. This is not to be questioned for. No. Our madhab tashayyo is the only madhab which invites you to go ahead and ask. And there is no dead end. There might be dead ends in other madhahib. When you ask them about the kayfiyat of Allah, they say, well, it's majhul. We don't know. But iman is, you have to believe in his kayfiyat, that he's there. But the question about it is, bid'at, and you can't question. No, there's no such thing in our madhab. When we have a certain belief, we might not have answers to ourselves, but there is solid proof for all of these things that we firmly believe in. So therefore, if it's proven through evidences, and they learn it from that aspect, and it's not just doing the taqleed of their parents, then they will have the ability to go ahead and stand up for, unless knowledge that emerges, in the form of certainty cannot be termed wrong, since the possessor of this knowledge knows that the reality is the same which he or she has felt. If they have felt it, and that is equivalent to the reality out there, then they will have a stronger connection with this. Ayatollah Khoury, rahmatullah alayh, commentator of Nahj al-Balagha, he considered religion being safe from doubts and suspicion. When he mentions under this khutbah, he said that encompasses everything which could result in defecting the religion. Muttaqeen protect their religion similar to the way people of this world protect their valuables. How do you protect your valuables? You keep them in a safe place. You don't want anything or any intruders coming in. You don't want anyone given the access to it. So this is how he compared it with. Books of history are filled with examples of those people who sold their faith for a few luxuries. Easily. They weren't coerced. They weren't forced into it, but they sold it for a few luxuries. Questions arises that if we were in their shoes, would we have done the same thing, or we would have escaped from that situation? Allegiance to some of these self-claimed caliphs of the Umayyads and the Abbasids, such as Harun al-Rashid, whose biggest crime was to kill our seventh Imam, Imam Musa Kadhim alayhi wassalam. So there were people who put a price tag on everything. And this is how some of these Abbasids and the Umayyad caliphs, their tactics were. So there was a person by the name Hamid ibn Qahtaba al-Ta'i. He says, I was summoned by the caliph who asked me, what can I do for him? I told him, my soul and my wealth and my life is in your service. He let me go. He didn't ask for anything. This time, he says, later on, he called me again and he asked me the same question. This time I said, I can sacrifice my family for you. He let me go again. Later, he called me again and he asked me the same question. This time I answered him by saying what? I said to him, I will sacrifice my religion for you. He said, Harun gave me a task. Now he did not let me go. When I said, I'll give my life and my wealth, he said, go back. When I said, I'll sacrifice my family, he said, go back. I don't need your family. I don't need your wealth. I don't need your life. He said, I'll sell my religion. I'll even give my religion for your sake. He said, now you're talking. That is the biggest commitment that I can get out of you. Because anyone can give life. Anyone can give wealth. Anyone can give family. But how much strong your beliefs are, and then you're willing to sacrifice your beliefs. That's what is what I'm looking for. So he gave me a task. He sent me with a special servant and ordered me to behead 60 people from the progeny of Bibi Fatma Zahra salamullah alayha and throw them into the well. They were the progeny and the children, they were Sadat from the children of Janab Sayyidah. And I beheaded 60 of them and I threw them into a well. He said, this is the commitment that I was looking for, that you're able to stand up because that's what Imam Hussein was trying to do in Karbala as well. On numerous occasions, Imam introduced himself as what? Hussein ibn Ali? No. Hussein ibn Fatima. He said, I'm Hussein, son of Fatima, daughter of Rasulullah. He didn't say, I'm Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. No, they had grudge with Ali and they had grudge with Abi Talib. He said, I'm son of Fatima, daughter of Rasulullah. So maybe they might have some soft corner for him. But that's where you see the examples over there. Likewise, Muslim ibn Aqba, also known as Musrif ibn Aqba, who played a major role in the event of Harra after Karbala, an event in which the sanctity of Medina was desecrated, killed 1,700 Ansar and Muhajirin, 80 of the survivors of the Battle of Badr, 10,000 other people were killed. When asked about his fate towards the end of his life, Muslim ibn Aqba said, I will embrace paradise for being obedient to my Caliph Yazid. He said, I was being obedient to my Caliph. If he orders me, and then these are his words, he says, if he orders me to bring down the Kaaba, I will do so. Because it's the order of the Amir. The order of Amir exceeds any other order. So no sanctity remains in front of these people, whether it's the sanctity of the Madinatul Munawwara or Makkatul Mukarramah, whether it is the Ashab who are from Badr or Uhud, or Ashab Jalil Qadr, nothing matters to them because their faith was bought with luxuries of this life. So We see the allegiance to this similar false caliphate even today in the form of ISIS. It is really astonishing to see how many people are misled by these groups showing loyalty either financially or physically. I know I've run out of my time. I wanted to go more into this concept that Amir al-Mu'mineen is saying, but I'll conclude with just one example. Tabari and Ibn Athir narrate that Amir Sham bribed people in order to achieve his high goals. And this is not a Shia version. I gave you two examples of Tabari, Tariq Tabari, and Tariq Ibn Athir. And I have the quotations here, reference as well. That he bribed people in order to achieve his high goals. Some of the tribal leaders came to see him, and among them was a person by the name Hattat ibn Mujashiri. Amir Sham gave each of these tribal leaders 100,000 dinars, except Hattat, who received 70,000. He asked the reason behind the disparity. Amir Sham told him the reason is that I have bought their religion from them, for which they received more money than you, and I have left you alone in this regard. Hattat said, you can have my religion as well. If it's 30,000 less that I'm getting, you can have my religion as well. So this is something which is narrated. I'm not trying to take anything out of this. The fact that this sort of story is narrated by Tabari and Ibn Athir in their history, just imagine the level of the crimes that they were committed. Amir al-Mu'mineen, who then declines this world. This is what he said. قال ألا هر يدع هذه اللماضة لأهلها إنه ليس لأنفسكم ثمن إلا الجنة فلا تبيعوها إلا بها. He said, is there no free man who can leave this chewed up morsel? So look at the example. كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, as the ayat of Surah Fil says, كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ. When Ababil dropped the stones, pebbles, onto these elephants, what was the remains of it? كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, like a chewed up straw or chewed up morsel. When you let the animals graze a land, and after they have grazed the land, whatever remains, that's what كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ is. Imam is saying the same thing, that is there no free man who can leave this chewed morsel? It means kisi ne khaya nahi wala aur usko thuk diya. That chewed up morsel that, of the world, to those who like it, certainly. The only price for your souls is paradise. Therefore, do not sell your souls except for paradise. This was just the background and the history. And the main part of the discussion was, how are we as far as selling our nafs and as far as selling our deen, as far as selling our belief is concerned? That is the real question. Hopefully, I will get to that question next week. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and ability that we are firm and strong when it comes to our beliefs. We're firm and strong, and nothing can shake us as far as our iman, our belief, and our faith is concerned. In Nasr Hadith. وأبلغ الموعظة كتاب الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحليم الكريم غافر الذنب وقابل التوب وهو الغفور الرحيم. سبحان من سبقت رحمته وغضبه وبسط اليدين بالرحمة. سبحان من لم يكلف نفسا إلا دون وسعها وعفى عن السيئات ولم يجاز بها. سبحان من لا يزداد على معاصي العباد إلا كرما وجودا ولا كثرة الذنوب إلا عفوا وصفحا. نشهد أن لا إله إلا هو الملك الذي لا ينازع في ملكه ولا ينازع في ملكه ولا يعاذ. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. على معاصي العباد إلا كرما وجودا ولا كثرة الذنوب إلا عفوا وصفا. نشهد أن لا إله إلا هو لطف العباد بجوده ولا بعض المظلمين بحلم. نشهد أن محمدا نبيه وحبيبه سيد المرسلين وخير المبشرين والمنذرين صلى الله عليه وآله الهداة المهديين. الهداة المهديين ألا قد أمركم الله في محكم كتابه بالصلاة على نبيه وحبيبه فقال تعليما لكم وتشريفا لصفيه إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيد المرسلين شفيع المظلمين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وعلى إمام المسلمين وقائد الغر المحجلين أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب صلوات الله عليه وعلى سيدة نساء العالمين وبلة خاتم النبيين سيدتنا فاطمة بنت رسول الله صلوات الله عليها وعلى الحسن المجتبى والحسين الشهيد بكربلاء وعلي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي عليهم الصلاة والسلام. اللهم صل على مولانا صاحب الزمان ما هي آثار البدء والدقيان هادم أبنية الشرك والنفاق حاسد فول البغي والشقاق صلوات الله وسلامه عليه والآباء الكرام اتصلت الليالي والأيام. اللهم عجل فرجا وسهل مخرجا واكحل ناظرنا بنظرة منا إليه واجعلنا من المستشهدين بين يديه وتفضل على أمراء المؤمنين بمزيد التوفيقات وازدياد الإقبال وعلو الدرجات. اللهم افعل بنا ما أنت أهله ولا تفعل بنا ما نحن أهله بجاه محمد وآله المعصومين صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يذكر فتتبعه ذكرا ان الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اللهم صل على محمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
صلاة الجمعة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم. ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. قل يا أيها الذين هادوا إن زعمتم أنكم أولياء لله من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين. قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون فإذا رأوا تجارة ولهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائمة قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا وآتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار بجاه محمد وآله الأطهار. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمد رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقول. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمد. الله أكبر. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار بجاه محمد وآله الأطهار. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
تسليم فاطمة الزهراء سلام الله عليها.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Astaghfirullahalladzi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. Ar-Rahmanur Rahim. Dzul Jalali wal Ikrami wa atubu ilayh. All together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma kulli waliyyikal hujjati ibnil Hasan. صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على
Surah Fatiha for all of our Makameen, those who sponsored today's program, and our community members, those who are no longer alive. Surah Fatiha. There's a request for Dua Sehat for Karim Khan Ibn Danish Man Khan, who's in JFK hospital in critical condition, as well as all of those people who are in need of dua. Let's recite the ayat from Surah Al together 5 times. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amma yujibul mustarra idha da'ahu yakshifu as-su'. 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 Amma yujibul mustarra idha da'ahu يكشف السوء يجعلكم خلفاء الأرض أإله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة والله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمد الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر بحول الله وقوته يقول وأقول بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي والعمل صالحا ترضى اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله لمن حمد الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقول الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمد الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقعد الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف الله أكبر الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
تسبيح فاطمة الزهراء سلام الله عليها. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام. وأسأله أن يتوب علي توبة عبد ذليل خاضع فقير بائس مسكين مستقيم مستجير لا يملك لنفسه نفعا ولا ضرا ولا موتا ولا حياة ولا نشورا. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من نفس لا تشبع ومن قلب لا يخشى ومن علم لا ينفع ومن صلاة لا ترفع ومن دعاء لا يسمع. اللهم إني أسألك اليسر بعد العسر والفرج بعد الكرب والرخاء بعد الشدة. اللهم ما بنا من نعمة فمنك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا أخي يا الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا رب الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك وعلى آله وعلى أولياء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام عليك يا شمس شموس وأنيس النفوس أيها المدفون بالرؤوس. علي بن موسى رضي الله رحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك إمام الإنس والجان، السلام عليك شريك القرآن، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرج قدورك وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك ورحمة الله وبركاته.
سورة الفاتحة.